the bottom line, the Stone Cold Sensei.
I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest.
This is The Pencil, a professional wrestling podcast starring Renny D and friends. Thanks for listening to The Pencil. Subscribe to the show on iTunes and follow us on Twitter at Pencil Podcast.
Hey, this is Chris Jericho. You're listening to The Pencil with Renny D. Pencil, baby. He's a pencil. Yeah, boy.
What's going on, guys? Welcome inside the tank here in Cottage Grove, Minnesota for episode 26 of The Pencil, the professional wrestling podcast, every Tuesday on iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, Stitcher, and our website, pencilpodcast.com. I'm professional wrestler Renny D. Sitting next to me, as always, is the boy they call Dirt.
Halfway through a year, aren't we? Halfway through, 26 episodes in. The Rumble's just getting over. We're on the road to WrestleMania. It's an exciting time at the Pencil. Very exciting time at the tank.
It could be, yeah, I would say that right now the excitement level in pro wrestling is at an all-time high, and that might sound weird given what we saw on Sunday and given the lack of a professional wrestling show last night on Raw, but I am a firm believer that pro wrestling right now is in a good state, and I actually think the WWE is in a good state moving forward too at this point.
And I think we're going to hear a little bit about that and how other fans think about where the WWE is. For the first time on the Pencil tonight, we're going to have fan reaction coming up here shortly in the next few minutes. We're going to give you a little bit of our take and some fans' takes that watched the Royal Rumble with us on Sunday night. Immediate reaction. It was actually about 5 minutes after it went off the air, so it's going to be a little something different tonight.
Very different, and we decided this week we're going to hold off on the guest. It was supposed to be Pat Buck from Pro Wrestling Syndicate. We're going to hold off, and Pat's going to be back on here later on in the year. Next week, we have Wes Briscoe, former TNA wrestler, the son of Gerald Briscoe, who's now going to get the Lou Thez Award at the Cauliflower Alley Club this year in Vegas, which is huge there. But yeah, like Dirt said, rapid fan reaction. 5 minutes after Royal Rumble, we sat out, we pulled out the microphones with the three casual fans. One of the fans, Drapes, listens or watches wrestling pretty religiously. The other fan, Trey, watches it when he can, and our other buddy, Lee, barely watches it. So we actually have a nice, well-rounded panel, you could call them.
We're going to get to hear their opinion on what happened at the Rumble. We're going to get to hear what they thought of Roman Reigns' victory. We're going to get to hear about the title match from their perspective. It was fun. It was a little different. Not guys that are inside the business per se, but more so watching from a fan's perspective. It'll be interesting, I think. And
I want to preface this before turn it over to the Royal Rumble talk that we had on Sunday night is I don't want people to think that I sounded bitter. I mean, I wasn't per se bitter. I want to make this perfectly clear. I have no problem whatsoever with Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble match.
You picked him, didn't you?
I picked him, correct.
God damn it.
I picked him, and that made me...
I don't want to talk about the picks.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about it during the Royal Rumble reaction, but not a single problem in the world. The problem that I had was that the storytelling of the Royal Rumble match itself was so bad that it made me upset. That's what made me upset. It wasn't that Roman Reigns won. It wasn't that Daniel Bryan was, not in the final five, although I think that he should have been in the Rumble longer. I just think there was a better way to tell the story, and they failed to execute that story on Sunday.
I would completely agree. You're going to hear our reaction along with the fans' reaction. I will preface my reaction by saying I apologize to the mothers for my language, but I was getting aggressive, and I wanted to make sure people knew what I thought about what was going on, because there were some things I loved on Sunday night, but there were some things I hated, and you're going to hear some choice words from yours truly about those things.
I mean, you may have said what, like fuck or something?
I might have said fuck. I might have said fuck more than once. I apologize.
Well, fucking A, Dirt. What are you thinking?
My bad.
Before we hop into the Royal Rumble, Dirt, you got it today at the gym. What'd you get, chest?
Chest day.
Little chest day, a little arm day.
I forgot my gloves, which was really frustrating because normally I'm always wearing my gloves, my weightlifting gloves.
Do you wear them for like the calluses? Do you wear them because it gives you better stability on the bar?
I wear them because I think it gives me better stability on the bar, and my fingers hurt whenever I'm lifting the type of weight that I'm throwing around in the gym if I don't have them on. But I was able to fight through it. It was a good body guy day.
It was a Body Guy Day, and we're going to start bringing you guys a Body Guy Minute every podcast if we can. We're going to try to keep it to a minute. For those of you who know me, know that I don't slack off one bit in the gym. I don't. Dirt's getting it every single day, doing 100 pull-ups for his back. It's ridiculous. I can't even do that.
And being a body guy is not about, it's about going to the gym, but it's about 24 hours a day being a body guy, not 60 minutes when you're in the gym or 45 minutes when you're in the gym, because time in the gym does not equate to being a body guy. All of you fucking idiots that are in the gym in January because you want to have a New Year's resolution, you can leave whenever you're ready so that I can get it in.
Get off our equipment if you're not going to use it right? I have a problem with that, but my tip this week is I did arms today, so I did bis and tris, and my biggest pet peeve is when I'm walking around the gym and I see somebody doing the same lifts that I just got done doing. They see me do that. They look at me and say, that guy's fucking ripped to shreds. I want to do exactly what he's doing, because if I do what he's doing, maybe I will look like him and maybe my wife will love me again. Chances are that's not going to happen. But when they try to mimic Renny D, the one and only in the gym, and they're doing curls and their back is like a fucking slinky, that is not how you get to be like me.
That's only hurting yourself. It's hurting your marriage. And more importantly, it's hurting us. I don't want to be in there with people that don't know what they're doing, with people that are trying to curl 50s when they should be curling 27s. That's fine. Just use the lighter weight. Nobody cares how much you can lift if you do it correctly and you look fucking good. Stop going to Hardee's.
If you want your back to look like that, here's an idea. Pay $90 a month and go to a CrossFit gym, because that's exactly what they look like in my gym, and I got an issue with it. Every single time. Never going to change. Ever. So if I see any of you guys in the gym that are listening to this podcast and your back is crooked like that, I'm going to come up to you and try to help you. But if you continue to do it, you're a lost cause. I don't know what you want me to tell you. You're never going to look like me. Ever.
Can't help people that don't want help. Understand your limitations in the gym and do things correctly. Don't worry about how much you're lifting. Just lift right. You're going to hear that from Lee Stork over the next month on our show, I'm sure. He's trying to get in better shape. We're going to get him there, but he's got to know you got to do it the right way. Not throwing around twice as much weight as you need to just so that you look cool for 3 seconds and look like shit when you get home.
Look like shit, feel like shit. And maybe this was a Body Guy 2-minute episode, but Body Guy Minute is brought to you by iForce Nutrition. Hemavol is a supplement that I take on a regular basis. Basically, it's a nitric oxide booster. So you take it with your pre-workout, you go to the gym, and you can work out longer, harder, and look better. And right now, for 48 hours only, if you go over to muscleandstrength.com, it's buy one, get one free on Hemavol. I strongly recommend, the lemonade flavor, and then there's a tangerine flavor. They're both good. They're all good. And you just chug it down real quick, get to the gym, kill a workout, and look like me. Maybe. We'll see. So stick around. We're going to take just a quick break, bring in the boys for the rapid reaction from Royal Rumble. Then Dirt and I are going to come back, talk to you about last night's Monday Night Raw, look forward to WWE Fastlane, WrestleMania 31, and some big WWE Network news.
Hey, this is Chris with Spot Monkey Media. Are you a professional wrestler, a promoter, a business owner? Spot Monkey Media offers creative media solutions for your brand or business. Whether it's merchandise design or promotional material for your next event, Spot Monkey Media will work hands-on to bring your ideas to life. Spot Monkey Media. Create your legacy. Get a free high five when you mention this podcast. Connect with us on Twitter at Spot Monkey Media.
What's up, guys? This is professional wrestler Renny D.
And this is Travis Dirty Mester.
And we're the hosts of The Pencil, the professional wrestling podcast, every Tuesday
on iTunes, YouTube, Podbean, and Stitcher.
We bring you guests from the WWE, TNA, and all the major independent wrestling promotions around the world.
Follow us on Twitter at Pencil Podcast or on the World Wide Web, pencilpodcast.com.
Here with a couple friends today to talk about instant reaction from Royal Rumble 2015. And wow, Dirt, Wow.
This is our first episode that we are allowing ourselves to have some instant reaction
Like
to an
literally
episode.
after the fucking pay-per-view.
We are in Central Time Zone. We are 10:05 p.m. right now. We just finished watching the Royal Rumble of 2015, and we're excited to bring you a little bit. We're going to bring you 10, 15 minutes right now on what we thought of the episode and what we think going forward. We've got fan reaction. We've got myself. We've got Renny D. We've got a handful of people that we watched the episode with.
And here's why we're doing it, right? Here's why we're doing it, because we got friends over. We're doing a tank party, because we do tank parties from here and then.
Tank party
from now and then. And we're doing this because we got guys who listen to The Pencil on a regular basis, who watch professional wrestling because they like professional wrestling. And tonight, I'm not sure if they really like professional wrestling after what we just saw.
And what they want, Renny, they want to listen to us on Wednesdays, Thursdays, whenever they're at work,
when
they're driving around in their car, when they're sitting at Excel Energy, or when they're sitting at wherever their job is, where they have to work 9 to 5, and they want to enjoy something, and they want to listen to what we think about things that are going on in professional wrestling. Or if they want to listen to something else, hey, they enjoy us every week, and we want to throw them stuff that they don't get everywhere else. And that's what we're trying to do.
Here's the deal. Before we introduce our panel, per se, obviously, we're on iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, and Stitcher. Do us a favor, rate, review, and subscribe. Make us, fucking go to the top of the list on all these podcasts. We're also on Facebook, /Pencil Podcast, pencilpodcast.com, @pencilpodcast on Twitter. We're joined with some friends. Ryan Drapes, who we've called out numerous times in this podcast, Trey Mulder, and Leroy Stork, if he ever decides to show up out of the shower. And these guys who don't join us on a regular basis, but they watched the pay-per-view with us tonight. And I think we had a pretty solid pay-per-view until about, I would say about 8:45 p.m. Central Time. And then things kind of took a turn that you and I don't know how to explain it. I mean,
every week, Ryan and I have to listen to 3, 4, 5 people that say, hey, we'd love to come on the Pencil. We'd love to talk. We'd love to give our influence. We have people texting us. We have people calling us. We have people emailing us at work saying, hey, let's talk about wrestling. Let's talk about what happened. And we're thinking, hey, the Royal Rumble is coming. We'll get you on. We're going to get an instant reaction situation coming. We're going to have a tank party at the Tank in Cottage Grove. We're going to watch the Royal Rumble, and it's going to be exciting. We decided to do that tonight. And I don't think the reaction is what we were hoping. I don't think it was as positive as we wanted it to be.
I think we both decided. We were sitting watching Royal Rumble, and I looked at you, Dirt, and I said, hey, man, why don't we get the mics live and start recording? Because I think if we wait till Tuesday to record this like we normally do, we might lose some luster from tonight's show. And we can't do that. I think for you, the listeners, who subscribe, listen on a weekly basis, this is the most real that we can get about what we saw for the last 3 hours of our life. And I think the best way to do it is to bring on guys who aren't with us every week. Guys who watch the product, who text us, who talk to us about WWE, who talk to us about professional wrestling. And these are the people that we actually need to reach. And these are the people that WWE needs to reach. Because you and I are going to tune in every Monday. Regardless.
We're going to have the network. We love it. We hate it. We talk about it. That's what we do. The people that don't do it every week are the people that we want to talk to and we want to hear from. And those are the people that we heard from tonight in my living room, and we heard from on our cell phones, we heard from on our Twitter account. And that's what we want to talk about for the next 10 to 15 minutes about the Royal Rumble 2015, the first pay-per-view of the year. The best, and should I say the worst, pay-per-view of the season. And we want to talk about it because
you're going to say it's the best and the worst pay-per-view? You're going to say that right now?
I think that you mentioned a couple weeks ago that the Monday Night Raw that we watched 3 or 4 weeks ago that was fucking terrible was the best Monday Night Raw of the year. So I will then re-up you and say that this was the best pay-per-view I've seen in all of 2015.
Well,
and that is not saying much at this point. But man, that makes a bad taste in my mouth for the first hour and a half.
So you and I have a different perspective on pro wrestling because we watch it, we talked about it. This is 26 episodes in. We started this in August.
26 episodes. Before we get negative, if we have to, 26 episodes. We're 6 months in. Congratulations, my man. 26 episodes. We're a half year in.
We are half a year in.
Holler at your boy.
We are half a year in. So everybody here, like, we listen to Cole Cabana, we listen to Jericho, we listen to Austin and JR. They have people on, but I'm going to toast it to 6 months because 6 months is pretty phenomenal. So for you guys who've been listening to us for 6 months, If you have a glass, raise it. If not, raise it tonight. But Drapes, you're sitting right next to the table right now, and you watched the tape. You watched the show with us tonight, and we got Mal there. We got Lee with us here tonight, and mind you, these are three of my best friends in the entire planet who like pro wrestling, and I think that they've had a knack for pro wrestling for most of their life, but obviously knowing me, knowing that we're doing this podcast, they watch it more and more. Here's my thing. You and I have negative reaction to tonight's show as far as the Rumble match. The main event was, to me, the world title match.
The main event was the 8 o'clock match.
Right. But I want to know, like, the casual fan who doesn't do a podcast, who doesn't subscribe, who doesn't, like, promote to the world what they think of professional wrestling. Drapes, overall, we can talk about the match, the show, up till 8:15. I think we're all on the same page. But as the Royal Rumble match, what did you think as a man who watches continually, who texts us, who we do shout-outs to you on a regular basis, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the Royal Rumble match? Not the pay-per-view, just the Royal Rumble match.
1 to 10, 1 being
Be straight.
awful.
Well,
Be
we
straight.
get it. I think from 1 to 10, I would give it probably a 5.
A 5. Leroy, you
A
want to get on this
5.
one?
I just-
Leroy is a amateur wrestler who wrestled in high school, was a great amateur wrestler, just like Lesnar, just like Angle, loves wrestling, the amateur style of wrestling, watches pro wrestling because we watch it all the time. Leroy, as far as from an entertainment basis, and the Royal Rumble match, we did this whole bet thing tonight where you picked a card, and I didn't win. I didn't win the card thing. I won the pay-per-view challenge. Dirt, you owe me a bottle of booze.
I actually won.
Yeah, Drapes
the way.
actually won.
Yep.
But, like, Lee, watching it as a casual fan who doesn't tune in every week per se, what did you think of the Royal Rumble match? Not the pay-per-view, but
Right.
the actual match.
Right. Well, first of all, I just want to say congratulations to you guys on successful 26 episodes. But I'd have to go a 6 or a 7. I think that's a little high, but I do believe Roman Reigns deserves his spot. He deserves his spot, but they did a horrible job at getting him to that spot to this point.
So, okay, so we're 2 for 2 on this, right, Dirt? So,
2 for 2.
Trey, we got one more guy here. Trey, get in here. Trey, come in the mic. One of the mics. We got 3 mics now. We got a new sound system. So, we had this whole, like, okay, the Royal Rumble overall, I thought was a success, but, like, the actual match itself, you also watch Raw, you watch SmackDown, whatever. The Royal Rumble match, how would you rate it 1 to 10? The match.
I'd say in the match overall, I mean, I've been watching a lot of wrestling. I'd probably give it at least maybe a 3. At tops, maybe a 4. Honestly, I'm a Daniel Bryanson fan. They put him over at, I think, number 12. He went out, and they had him out for about 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Biggest guy in the show the last 6 months. And they didn't have him do anything.
I mean, that's
And the
I
rest
think
of the
that's flip-flop.
show, I mean, the crowd's booing. The crowd is actually booing in the main event. That doesn't happen too often when the crowd boos in the main event.
It doesn't happen
It
too
did last
often.
year.
It did last year, right? So
Because
Batista.
Daniel Bryan was not even in the match.
So here's the big question. So we can talk about. All right, let's not like dwell on the negatives, right?
No, never. We're never going to dwell on the
Well,
negatives.
Just wait. If you're going to have Daniel Bryan go out that early, why not bring him in towards the end?
You can't do that though. He doesn't have a number to come back in at the end.
Why not bring him in at the end instead of the beginning? Why not
Like
let
number,
him,
like
let,
number-
Let
okay.
everyone get wild again, like it should end, and then the disappointment. Why have the whole thing be a disappointment?
I think that what you're saying, Lee, that was Lee Stork that was just giving us his input, and I think that's probably what a lot of people that were watching the Royal Rumble thought. As soon as Daniel Bryan was thrown over, I believe it was right around between 13, 14, 15, right in that range,
Do we have a confirmation of when Daniel came into the Rumble? He was like 7 or 8.
and he went out
Close
at
to that.
14, 15.
Pretty
and,
quick, yeah.
And I think obviously we're going to touch on this more later this week about what happened, why it happened, and what we think that it means. But from a casual fan standpoint, I think everybody that we were watching it with was pretty negative on that, and I don't know what the advantage was. Was there anything from you, Drapes, or you, Lee, that you guys thought, hey, something that's going to bring us down, Daniel Bryan going out, to something that's going to bring us up? Was there anything later in the match that you guys grabbed onto?
So, no, I don't think so. I mean, having Daniel Bryan getting pulled over the ropes that early, you would think that something would come up that would bring us back up.
And I think
we were all waiting for it, and nothing really did.
And I think a handful of those things that we were talking about.
It's just like the fans were thinking that I'm a mark. I'm 100% mark. And
for who individually, or just wrestling in general,
I'm a mark for faces. I'm a face guy, 100%. So all the face guys I cheer for, and I want to see Daniel Bryan make a big run at the Royal Rumble. I want him to knock about 7 people out, last until, I don't know, the last 10 people in the Royal Rumble, and get kicked out maybe.
Well, here's the thing,
final
right?
5. I mean, I don't know.
So we did this whole gimmick thing, where we put $10 in, we picked the final 10. Then Travis and
I'm never gonna get those $10 back, motherfucker.
You're not.
I have them.
So we picked 10 guys, Dirk. You and I picked 10 guys that we thought would be the last 10 in the Rumble. We did not have Rusev because
you had RVD, by the way. Just want everyone to know that they had RVD.
Did WWE really think that Rusev was going to save that Rumble match
at the end?
Yeah.
No, I mean I don't know what they were thinking.
Well, what was that?
Their philosophy was Rocky Maivia is in Philly. If you smell hits and the crowd's going to react. Did they react? Yeah. No, they reacted to the theme song.
Yes, but then they started booing away.
They did because they knew once Daniel Bryan got eliminated, it was over.
Done. Because the wrestling crowd is
in Philly.
Yeah, maybe it's a Philadelphia thing, and I'm not going to give
the wrestling crowd's a face just like
I'm going to give Philadelphia credit, but I'm also going to say that I'm sitting 5 minutes from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I'm not going to say that we are any dumber than Philadelphia. We sat in my living room. We watched the Royal Rumble, and we were the same reaction that they were. Don't give Philadelphia too much credit because they were booing just like we were in our living room, in our minds, and thinking, what in the hell is going on?
We were
the thing.
Just the same as everyone out there.
Here's the thing, though, right? Like all of us can sit here and say, overall, the pay-per-view, we ended after Royal Rumble started, the Rumble match.
I was getting my nut for about 90 minutes. I was getting my nut.
It's a fact. We were all fucking hard as shit.
Great match before that.
The main event was fantastic.
That was
the second best triple threat match I've seen in ever.
And when we say main event, we know what we're talking about, the actual main event.
Not Royal Rumble.
If nothing that happened in the Royal Rumble had anything to do with the actual World Heavyweight Championship match, why in the fuck was the Royal Rumble last? There was booze, Triple H came out, there was no Sting, there was no anything with Brock Lesnar.
Do you want to go on the Sting thing? You want to go on the Sting thing?
If we go on the Sting thing, we're at 13 minutes right now. We're gonna go for 50 minutes tonight because my goodness, the pencil is gonna be loud and in charge for episode 26.
Sure, let's stop real quick because you and I, we do this on a weekly basis, right? We do this on a weekly basis to the casual fan who sits on their couch, who watches USA Network, who watches Sci-Fi, who buys the WWE Network for $9.99, whatever it is.
I just want everyone to know that Travis Mester, until 2 weeks ago, was using Mr. Ryan Drapes' network.
Still am using Ryan Drapes' network password, but still. We want to get.
They still use it for $9.99 a month.
But we want to get the casual fan because we talk every week. We want to hear what the casual fan thinks. That's what we want to know. We want to hear 3, 4, 5 people that watched it with us that don't get to talk about it every week. So Trey, you're a guy that watches it on a weekly basis but does not get to talk about it and let people know. How upset were you? Was there a situation in the Royal Rumble where you thought, hey, this sucks or this is awesome? Was there a spot where you thought, I'm over or I'm not over? What did you think?
My actual opinion, okay. My actual opinion with the Daniel Bryan going out so early, I actually think he's still hurt. That's why I think that he went out so early, is that he's hurt. They pushed him too soon, and I don't think he's ready to come back yet. I think he's coming back at WrestleMania for sure. It's not going to be a championship match.
obviously.
I think what you're saying, Trey, is something that a lot of people are going to say tomorrow. So I think it's good to hear from people that know what they're talking about, because if he was healthy, why in the world wasn't he in it for 55 minutes? That's what I think a lot of people are going to have tomorrow.
But here's the thing, right? Like we talked last year, Daniel Bryan was not in the Royal Rumble.
At all. Not at all.
And I would say that out of all of us here, well, Lee started watching wrestling with us because we live at the tank.
Right.
But here's the thing, like Daniel Bryan not in the Rumble last year, the crowd absolutely took a big dump on
They
Royal
turned
Rumble.
on the entire WWE.
But the WWE as a business, as a fucking publicly traded company.
And that's what they are, and that's what you major
They
in,
knew-
Ryan. You understand that, and you might know that better than me, better than any
that's
of
the
the
thing, like-
casual fans that we have.
So
They knew what they were doing for WrestleMania, so why not?
Right. Last year they
That's why.
I guess they had the plan for WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan was not in the plans.
So it's basically shit on all of your fans and bring them. It's basically a big letdown to a big high.
So, but last year at WrestleMania, when he got into that main event after beating Triple H, were you happy, Drapes?
Yeah.
Okay, you were happy. Did
course
you watch
I was.
WrestleMania last year, Trey?
Hell yeah, I did.
Did you?
I was
Trey
drunk.
Over with Drapes.
Trey was sitting right next to me.
So you guys were happy when Daniel Bryan won the title, correct?
Yes, we were.
We were there the Raw after. And
I was drunk as shit, and it was awesome.
What did the
Trey and I
people?
were as well.
What did the people chant the Raw after WrestleMania, Travis? We were live in New Orleans. Shout out to the people that took care of us.
I believe the one thing that I remember them chanting was "You deserve it" to Daniel Bryan,
Right.
and it was special. It was awesome. It was something that we all thought was exactly what should have happened, and it was in an environment where there was 18 to 20,000 people. It wasn't in WrestleMania is 70 to 80,000 people, and that's what I think we're going to have to really delegate, because we're going to need to understand that Royal Rumble last night or tonight, whatever night this actually rolls.
It rolls Tuesdays on iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, and Stitcher, pencilpodcast.com, Pencil Podcast on Facebook,
Follow
at
us.
Pencil Podcast on Twitter. Derek, you know the fucking story.
It's actually posted about 11:30 Central Time Tuesday night, so you might as well say it's Wednesday.
So here's the thing.
Just
Okay,
saying.
so the day after Mania last year, we were there. Small arena. 15, 16,000 people sold out. You deserve it chant. Tonight, the crowd in Philly were chanting, "We want refunds."
We want refunds. They were chant. I remember 4 chants in the last 45 minutes. I remember "We want refunds." I remember Daniel Bryan. I remember a big pop for Dolph Ziggler, who was in the match for 6 minutes.
It doesn't
4
matter. Like
minutes.
we all
Shit, I want a refund for my goddamn $9.99.
not okay. So
And
These are the
and
fans.
and the 7 people who use my account.
These are the fans. These are the fans that we talk about.
that's not true, WWE. We don't share your account. But here's the thing. That
Yes, we do.
That's the thing. Like Drapes, you said that like you want a refund for your network, and Travis, you said
Well, I'm the biggest mark in the world.
you are, but you
That
said
you know, probably.
Travis has said during the show tonight, don't worry, they have a fucking plan for us. They're gonna bring us up, bring us down. Here's the thing. I get that, Travis. I do. I get that. Bring us up, bring us down. But what
yes.
point do they bring us down? Where the point that we sleep and we don't wake up?
When he started saying it, pretty much, because it never happened.
And you, Renny, you believe.
I'm not
you-
the only
you-
one.
I know. And
I was waiting for it too. I was waiting to hear some voices from Randy Orton.
That's another
Where
thing.
the fuck is Randy Orton, people?
No Randy Orton.
Where's Randy
Where the
Orton?
fuck is Randy Orton?
We
Randy Orton's at a beach right now.
sitting where we were. I think all of us were thinking, "Where's Randy Orton? Where is Sting?"
I've been
I don't
waiting
want
for
to
Orton
see.
for 3 months.
I don't want to see. I do not want to see Triple H unless it has something to do with Sting anymore. We have 2 months
I do.
until WrestleMania.
Did we see Sting tonight?
Then again,
Did we see Sting tonight?
I didn't, unless they were showing replays.
So here's the thing. Let's talk as a business standpoint. Okay? I'm tired of talking about like the wrestling. The main event to me was the world title match. Fantastic. The second best triple threat match I've ever seen in my life.
Unbelievable
Who do you think
match.
should have won? Who do you think
I-
should have won, though?
I mean,
I
we
have
picked
Lesnar winning.
Drapes picked Lesnar. You and I both picked Cena, Travis.
I was apparently the one person who's
I'm
smart
not-
with Lesnar.
But if you watch Raw, like
If you watch Raw, if you watch
I
that
do.
match tonight, I don't think when I watched that match, I don't see a negative in that match. I thought it was unbelievable storytelling. I thought all three characters came out looking unbelievable. I did not like the idea of J&J Security being involved as
you
much
gotta
as
let
they
that
were.
one go. You gotta let that one go.
I have to let it go. How about this? Fuck you, Ryan. I don't have to let it go because
Yes,
I
you
watch
do.
it every week,
But
and
you're
I can
wrong.
let go what
You're
I want
wrong.
to let go.
You're wrong. You're 100% wrong. Why wouldn't they? Okay, here's to not go off on a tangent.
To be honest, I didn't know it was no disqualification until
But-
they started getting involved.
And that's okay.
And then Dirt told me,
in
it's
a-
not no disqualification.
in a
Oh,
triple
okay, I
threat
guess
match,
these guys
you can
do
disqualify one guy in the
a
championship.
Shields power bomb. That's cool.
Okay, that's cool. I get it. But
Not
like,
really.
they have to get involved.
Then why in the fuck is Rollins getting pinned?
Because Lesnar didn't. But Lesnar didn't lose. Cena lost. Rollins lost. As much as we're upset with the Royal Rumble outcome,
The Royal Rumble pay-per-view, and I think that this is where you're going, was not a huge failure. I don't
it
think.
wasn't.
The Royal Rumble match,
Was.
which I think, as we've talked about, was not great. The Royal Rumble main event, which was the triple threat actual main event for the World Heavyweight Championship, was not that poor.
Yeah, no, we should not be nitpicking that match.
No,
the entire card, we should not be nitpicking that one.
No,
We
and
should be nitpicking the other one.
and I think that
Because that one was by far the best match in a long time.
that was great, and it was the best match of the year. It's also
Wow.
January, just so we're all clear.
I
But
do not think we'll see another one, another good one like that.
Okay,
for the
so
rest of the year.
Triple threat, right?
no,
Regardless.
Drake's makes a good point. Like
I don't
that,
think we'll see another match like that the entire year.
No, here's the thing. Like, people will say Rollins took a weird bump here and there. It didn't look real. That's
Rollins
the point of
takes
pro
bumps.
wrestling.
that's why Brock Lesnar is a special attraction. It's not supposed to look real. It was fantastic. That was great. You know what should have happened? Anything that happened in the Royal Rumble needs to reflect on whatever's going to happen at WrestleMania. I'm sure they're going to have that happen tomorrow night.
And we have the main event. We have the main event. Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. Will it suck? Absolutely not. It's what we knew was going to happen. We all knew this was going to happen. That's why I picked him.
When we talk about WrestleMania, can we talk about like the next pay-per-view? Because the pay-per-view before this, what's going to happen in that event?
Yeah. I mean, okay. You did make a good point. Fastlane. Fastlane to us, Trey, is a disposable pay-per-view. I think, right? Like,
It's like Elimination Chamber last year.
but that's not true. Like the Elimination Last Chamber, we went to it, and
And
it was awesome.
It was the best match of the year. Some might say.
No, it's
I
not,
did
not some. We all will say it's the best match of the year. It was
I
the
did-
best match of the year.
I did not.
The Slammies forgot to think about the Wyatts against the Shield in the best match of the year, which was one of the best matches of the year.
It was.
And
I was there.
We forgot about it because it was in March. Not
Tonight's
March, it was in
tonight's
February.
event. Tonight's event was not to set up for Fastlane. We all know that. Royal Rumble is to set up WrestleMania. We have they already said the main event at WrestleMania is Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Will it disappoint? I don't think it will, because Reigns is a big dude. Lesnar is a big dude.
Will they put a triple threat in WrestleMania?
No, they won't. If they do, I'm not going to be happy.
But Ryan, let's hear from one of our fans who are not on all the time. Let's have Lee or Ryan Drapes talk about it and
I
say,
have
hey,
something to say.
how do you guys feel about thinking, hey, right now, because we might not have you on before WrestleMania. How do you feel right now thinking that the Royal Rumble went off air tonight and the plan is Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar? I want to hear what the casual fan thinks about that. Drapes, how about you go first? We'll hear from Lee. We'll hear from a couple other people later, and we'll have you guys tell us what you think.
Yeah,
All right. Well, okay. All right. We'll take Lee. We'll take Lee first.
No, okay. So my thought on it was the only thing that made sense to me was maybe WWE really wants a big guy to take Brock down. Maybe it's time for Brock to be done and put in the big guy, and Roman Reigns is the next big guy in line. but I think I think it's too soon. I was going for The Rock coming out there. I think The Rock would have sold way more tickets than Roman would have. But I guess we'll take what we can get. I guess right at this point, I thought this was a disappointing night. I was so high on that first match. God, so high for the championship, and then they do the Rumble, and then it's just all you hear are boos, and I was disappointed. But I think Roman will show us what he's made of.
And just so we're all clear, Pencil listeners, when he says high, he does not mean marijuana, and when he says booze, he does not mean liquor,
Right.
except for some of the time. Go on, Lee.
Right. No, that's my take on it. I mean, I'm still gonna watch because I care. I care what's going on here, and I care what's going on that TV. So I just think they could have sold it better. But who knows? Maybe they're waiting to get big. They're waiting to get huge, and maybe they're waiting to set up another year or two from now. I don't know.
All right,
We'll see what we can do.
So that's what Lee thinks. That's a casual fan that thinks on a daily basis, that watches a lot of wrestling. Trey, we want to hear what you think. We want to hear if you think, hey, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, main event, WrestleMania 31. We're looking at it. As of right now, according to the announcers at the end of Royal Rumble, that's what's going to happen. Are you excited? What do you think about that entire match, and do you think anything should happen between now and then before that actually comes down?
Honestly, with that match, I'm not super excited because they were pushing Roman Reigns last year, eliminating 12 guys, set a new record. They pushed him last year. What happened at the end of the Royal Rumble last year? Bautista eliminated him at the last second.
Did you watch last year's
Royal
Rumble, Trey?
I did watch last year's Royal Rumble.
Okay, so and I'm excited that you actually watched last year's Royal Rumble. So you watched last year's Royal Rumble where Batista had returned. He had eliminated Roman Reigns last year to win the Royal Rumble. Was last year's Royal Rumble more disappointing, or was this year's Royal Rumble more disappointing for you as a fan?
I still think last year's was more disappointing because they brought back Batista. No reason at all. This guy comes back after 7 years. I know The Rock does it. But Batista isn't The Rock. He can't do this. He can't do this kind of same stuff. Comes back, wins the match. Nobody really cares that he won the Royal Rumble. And the championship match didn't really matter.
And
I just want to say
Ryan Draves dropping in here. We want to hear what we want to hear. We want to hear what Ryan Draves has to say. We want to hear what he has to say with regards to tonight's match. We want to hear if he thinks that.
Well, no, I agree. I agree with Trey and all that. I just think the reason why Batista did not get the cheer that he and maybe the WWE expected,
Batista's not a big guy,
was because everyone was hot on D. Bryan.
That's weird. That's not similar.
And guess what? He was not even in the match. And I mean, Batista, he was supposed to come in as a face, I believe, and it just didn't work.
You are correct. He was supposed to come in as a face last year,
he
but
got booed the hell out of there.
And Draves, Draves,
I believe we started the Bautista chant in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
In Minneapolis, Minnesota, there was Bautista chants. There was Bautista chants about 10 to 15 seconds after he won the Royal Rumble. I know, and you were part of them.
If you are listening, it's not because of you.
Dave, we love you.
Yeah.
Dave, we love you. We want you. Dave, we want you on television as much as we can, but we understand that your character was not where it needed to be last year, and that's what we believe today, that we don't think Roman Reigns' character is where it needs to be the main event of WrestleMania 31. I believe that.
Roman Reigns' character is in the same boat that Batista tried to do last year.
And that's the reason that tonight I think we all felt and when I say we, I will not speak for all of us. Ryan Drapes, you can speak for the casual fan. How did you feel whenever it got to entrant 20, 25, 30 when you thought, hey, maybe this is really going to happen. They are really going to give this to Reigns. I think some of us might have all thought maybe they're going to give it to Ziggler, maybe they're going to give it to somebody else. What was your thought process over that last 10 minutes of the Royal Rumble?
Well, you know what? You were obviously you were sitting right next to me, and we were just waiting. I was just waiting for Ziggler to just come right out. I was waiting for it. Here to show the world. That's about
we
it.
wanted to be shown the world. We wanted to be shown the world.
Yeah. That's really all that I wanted. Once Bry got eliminated, I figured that Roman Reigns was going to be the winner. And actually, I do want to sidestep from the actual Royal Rumble match for something that it's really been heating me.
Hey, this is
a week. This is a casual
just
fan.
So we know, Pencil Podcast listeners, this is a casual fan that he wants to really get after it right now. So Ryan Draves, what do you got to get after?
The whole Sting gimmick. I mean, I love Sting. I remember from the first Pencil Podcast, Mr. Travis Mester, he said that DDP was his guy in WCW, which was
Bang!
He was in the Royal Rumble this year, which was awesome. Great to see him.
He got
Great
3
to see him.
DDPs in, too.
He DDP'd everybody. And then, for me, I am in the same boat. I love DDP, and I loved Sting. Sting back in the day when he used to sit in the rafters and just taunt the NWO and say not a single word. Nothing. He would not say a word. Point with his baseball bat. That was amazing. I loved it. It was great. Marked out on it, of course, whatever you want to say. But bringing back to this day, what they're doing with Sting now, so we got Survivor Series. He comes out, helps Mr. Dolph Ziggler win for the good guys.
For the good guys.
Mr. Good Guys, yep, the faces, which is me.
That's all you.
Which is me, yep. And when's the next time we see him?
We did not see him for 9 weeks, and then he showed up on Raw, which was very exciting.
Which was
it was 2
after
weeks
the
ago.
New Year, right?
Correct. We
Yes.
went through
Yep.
8 weeks. We talked about it on the Pencil
Yep.
Podcast. We discussed why we have not seen him.
Yep.
I personally did not understand why we didn't see him. And you,
And
as a
to be
casual fan,
Yes. And
you're a Sting guy. You're a Sting guy.
I've actually emailed Travis and Buckeye about this, saying that I didn't mind the big pause with Sting coming out because after Survivor Series, the Authority was gone. They got fired. So why would Sting be out there? There's no reason for him to be out there if they're trying to set up a match between him and
You're preaching
Triple
to the
H.
choir, bro. I mean, you've listened to this podcast, and I think we both have said this.
You have not said this.
We have said
You hate
this.
it. You guys
Correct.
said that you hate that he's been gone for so long.
No,
and guess what? I don't care because he was sitting in the rafters back in the day and didn't say a word.
But you just said
He's doing the same thing.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You just said, why is he there? Was that the question you just asked, Travis?
It was.
Okay. You just asked, why is he there? I'm pretty sure, and I'm not throwing you on the bus, Travis. I'm just saying, I'm
That's
pretty
fine.
sure.
I got marks all over my back anyway. I'm good.
No,
Hashtag Mark.
But I'm pretty sure that we've been saying since Survivor Series, why Sting? Why are you there? Why are you challenging Triple H? Why are you challenging the Authority?
Yeah.
We've been doing that.
Yes. I mean, there's a big why. Like what? Like where does this come from?
And we're talking about Sting tonight, right?
But I'm not getting to the why yet.
There's no why. There's no why though.
There's supposed to be for me as a casual fan, there was supposed to be a why tonight.
But there
Royal
wasn't.
Rumble.
There was not. Correct.
That's what I was getting at. If
So
you let me finish.
How disappointed are you how disappointed are all you guys?
I'm very.
I think we're all disappointed, right?
I was waiting for Sting to do something to piss off Triple H even more. Because who cares about Fastlane? Nobody really. We wanted to see Sting accelerate.
I don't want to see Sting, but some people do.
And
I do.
And what I think,
I don't want to see a 50-year-old guy wrestle. I'm sorry. I mean, I like Sting back in the day. He's not doing anything right now.
Okay, well, I still do. I want to see Sting wrestle.
And here we go.
That's a good thing, right?
Some people out there do want to see Sting wrestle. There's nothing wrong with it.
And we're
At
okay
all.
with that. And at the Pencil Podcast, this is Travis Dirty Mester speaking right now.
Travis
We are
T.
the travesty at the Tank in Cottage Grove, Minnesota. Speaking about this, on the Pencil Podcast, we want to have you follow us, pencilpodcast.com. We want to have you look at us on Twitter at Pencil Podcast. But we want to make sure that you understand that what we want to happen is what should happen with the progressive storylines. We want to know, why is Sting there? If we're not supposed to know why, that's okay. But if you give us a little bit of Sting here and no Sting 4 weeks from now, that's understandable. But don't give us Sting 6 weeks ago having to do with Triple H and then have Triple H show up every week and have Sting never show up.
Triple H just got hired after the New Year.
All right, look,
there's 2 weeks.
I need
There's no reason for him to be back until last week.
I need
when
to
Cena was fighting.
I need to interject.
Okay.
Because, why Sting 6 weeks ago at Survivor Series? I'm with you.
It might have been more than 6 weeks, just so we're clear.
Survivor Series.
We don't care about the weeks.
And Sting on Raw. Why? Why? And we had a pay-per-view tonight.
My company tells me to say 5 whys. We're only at 3.
And we got more than 3.
We got 2 more to go.
We got a Royal Rumble, which is the second big... Okay, so WWE tried to say
Big
SummerSlam...
Y, people.
They try to say SummerSlam is the second biggest pay-per-view. It's not. Royal Rumble is.
SummerSlam is the WrestleMania of the summer.
Bullshit.
But let's fucking call that bullshit right now.
So why do we have Sting, the icon Sting, right, who's 50-plus years old, who I don't care to see, Drapes cares to see, but,
I would love to see him wrestle.
Bringing back WCW.
No one's bringing that.
Be a new company.
No one's bringing. But I'm saying, tonight we had a Royal Rumble pay-per-view, and there was no presence of Sting at all. Not even a screenshot, not even a promo.
They talked
nothing.
about him.
When?
Pre-show.
Pre-show. The pre-show. Yeah, the pre-show.
I was hammering a Brandy 7 whenever they were talking about it, but I think they did, though. I think they might have mentioned him on the pre-show.
Here's my thing. As a pro wrestler, as a guy who, tries to think of the entire show as a story from beginning to end. I opened the cover to Royal Rumble. Did I want to see Sting at the beginning? No, I didn't. Did I want to see him in the middle? No, I didn't. Did I want to see him at the end? Yes, I did. And I think all of us did.
Okay, let me say one thing. Yes, you think they're trying to set up a match between Sting and Triple H, correct?
Well, that's exactly what's going to happen at WrestleMania.
But
why not use the second biggest pay-per-view, in my opinion, to sell it more?
Why aren't they using that? They're not building it at all.
And here's why they're...
Are they using it on Raw?
Here's what they're going to...
SmackDown?
Here's what they're going to tell you.
Superstars?
Here's what corporate WWE is going to tell you. We're going to sell this on Raw. We're going to sell this on SmackDown because more people watch Raw.
Ratings people.
More people watch Raw. More people watch SmackDown than buy the network. The network is fucking $10. $10. If you don't have $10,
if you use somebody else's account.
Correct.
My account, by the way. Yes.
The thing is, I get it, Drapes. I get it. You like Sting. Travis's favorite wrestler of all time was Sting, but it's not the same anymore.
I wanted something. Just come on, help. Show him a little bit. Not the stupid. They showed previews of Sting ruining Triple H's stupid thing last Raw.
That was Sting's persona. Sting would just show up randomly. Do you not remember watching this stuff? He would just show up randomly.
I just talked about it.
He would just show up.
But
his persona.
But we're at the point. I mean, we're trying to build a match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, 2 months to WrestleMania,
and one more pay-per-view,
which nobody cares about.
No one cares about Fastlane.
Which is fine.
This was the one that people cared about. Most people are going to watch it.
Here's the thing. We've been talking for fucking 40 minutes about the Royal Rumble, the reaction, the Royal Rumble match. Every match besides the Royal Rumble, every match besides in my opinion, should have been the main event, was just, we don't need to spend time talking about it, which we haven't, because we're not going to.
No, we don't care about it anymore. But
I did win the bets, Travis. I did win the bets, so I expect a bottle tomorrow.
And I won $70.
And Drapes won $70. But here's the thing. The main event showed us that Brock Lesnar will go into WrestleMania 31 in San Francisco, Levi Stadium, as the World Heavyweight Champion. Am I mad about that? Absolutely not. He should be.
But the worst part is he's going to lose to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Which, I mean, Roman Reigns, he's a great wrestler. He's just not ready
But you forget, though, who has the briefcase?
Rollins.
Seth Rollins has a briefcase.
Seth Rollins.
Who walks out of WrestleMania the World Heavyweight Champion?
Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins. I mean, I think
That's
Travis is busy right now, but I think he might be in agreement with us. Like, Dirt, like we're talking WrestleMania. The WrestleMania event right now is Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns.
Wayne? Really?
Who walks out of WrestleMania with the fucking strap? Neither of those two.
No, I don't believe that either of those two will walk out with the World Heavyweight Championship.
Who does?
I think it will be
One name.
It's going to be Seth Rollins.
And does he deserve it? After tonight's main event, and I know you guys on Twitter will be like, it wasn't. Yes, it was. It was the fucking main event.
Watch the match, and then you tell me what the main event was, because the main event was the World Heavyweight Championship match.
Let's do a quick roll.
Maybe it was the Divas match. That's pretty good.
It was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie to you, but
no offense,
Seth Rollins,
you're awesome.
Seth Rollins put on a show, and he was on the level of John Cena and Brock Lesnar tonight. I don't think anybody that watched that pay-per-view is going to say anything differently.
Let's bring this full circle. Last year after Royal Rumble, who left the company? One name. Anybody.
Chicago made, baby. Chicago made Punk.
CM Punk.
I am currently wearing the zip-up hoodie of
You are.
Best since day one.
The man who leaves WrestleMania 31 with the title will not be Roman Reigns. It will not be Brock Lesnar. It will be Seth Rollins.
And I have no reason to think that it should be anything different.
No problem with that either, actually.
And I know we've been on and on about this whole thing tonight.
But at the end of the day, maybe we need to understand that from pay-per-view start to pay-per-view end, it is a story. And we need to have them bring us up and bring us down and bring us up and bring us down. And maybe we need to understand, Pencil listeners, and all of us casual listeners, and Renny D and myself,
I'm not a casual listener.
As disappointed as we may be from time to time, if we give them the benefit of the doubt, from that Royal Rumble to the WrestleMania, that main event season for the WWE, maybe we can give that one show. They'll bring us up, they'll bring us down. They bring us down at the end of Royal Rumble. Maybe they will just bring us up with something special at the end of WrestleMania. What do we know?
What I want to do before we cut off this, because we're going to try to talk Raw, but, honestly, if they bring Sting on Raw, I don't care. Right? I don't care about Raw. I care about tonight.
Unless we hear voices.
Speaking of that, actually, I have to ask you guys, when do we see Orton, and who does he affect coming into WrestleMania?
I'm shocked we didn't see Randy Orton tonight.
Randy Orton's going to screw over Seth Rollins. Honestly, I'm cutting in. Seth Rollins going to cash in. Randy Orton's cut. Randy Orton's going to come in.
So are you saying that Orton's not coming back until Mania?
Till Mania.
To be honest with you, if I'm booking this right now, there's no reason to bring him back beforehand.
See, we all thought he was coming back for Royal Rumble, right?
We all
Did
thought
we not?
Sheamus was coming back tonight.
I don't care about Sheamus. Albino, Cena, really?
I get it. But
He's heel turn people. Heel turn Sheamus. I'm sorry.
RVD, Randy Orton, that was what we were led to believe. And I'm done reading fucking WrestleZone. Hey, I appreciate you guys coming on the podcast. I'm done reading you guys. I'm done reading ProWrestling.net. Jason, love you. Can't read your shit no more. You guys aren't predicting the accurate stuff. And here's the thing. I'm an Orton mark. Drapes, I know you're an Orton mark.
Everybody sitting at this table is an Orton mark.
I'm actually an Orton mark only because of the pencil. I did not like him until I started listening to him until the pencil.
That's a bullshit. But
that's serious. That's actually serious. I lived with you for a year. You know that.
It's true.
They were kind of gay.
Not at all.
We don't mean it like that. Let
But seriously, can you guys answer my question?
He's coming back tomorrow night.
When's Orton coming back, and who is he starting a feud with?
We are hearing voices Monday Night Raw, January 26th.
So for you guys listening, it'll be the night before you guys hear this.
Against who?
He'll be on Raw. It doesn't matter who. He's not wrestling a match.
Who's he going to fight at WrestleMania?
Seth Rollins.
Jinx? Jinx by May Coke?
And we saw on the Royal Rumble post show, it's going to be Cena, Rusev. We saw it on the post show. Yep. Okay? So we got Roman and Brock.
I saw that coming 4 months ago.
Seth and Orton, which is going to steal the show.
Great
Taker,
match.
Sting.
No, Taker, Wyatt. Wyatt
Taker,
looks strong
Wyatt,
tonight.
yep.
Taker, Wyatt, Sting, Triple H.
Who's Ziggler going to be at WrestleMania?
I mean, Ziggler might have a
Bad
guy.
news, Barrett.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He eliminated him tonight. That'll be
Ziggler's back at Intercontinental.
correct. He'll be at the mid card. He
But
will
he's
open
not,
WrestleMania.
He's not Dolph, Nick, whatever. If you ever listen to this, you're not a world title contender right now.
I agree, but you know what? Back in the day, Shawn Michaels was a very good Intercontinental. Razor Ramon, Intercontinental champion. Nothing wrong with it.
That's true. And
Nothing wrong with it at all.
And there was
Maybe we're trying to push the Intercontinental Championship up a little bit more. U.S. Championship? Who cares, Rusev? You suck.
Let's wrap this up.
Fuck Russia.
Fuck Russia.
Fuck Russia.
Let's wrap this up because we all can talk about Lana's ass. We all can talk about Nikki Bella and how good she looks.
I got Lana. Dibs.
If we want to talk about Nikki or Lana for a little bit, we can keep it open for a little bit.
Here's my thing. Okay, so honestly, we can talk to you guys for an hour and a half about how great these girls are. Here's the biggest thing.
Not good wrestlers, but very good looking.
Honestly, like I want to scale before we cut this podcast off. Before we get to hopefully our guest this week. We're trying. Before we get to the guest this week, the Royal Rumble pay-per-view in its entirety. Okay, because we've been talking about the match. We've been talking about what we think is the main event. Overall, 1 to 10, I want the fan reaction from Drapes and Trey. Because, Travis, you and I are going to be harsh. We always are. But we should be. We cover this shit now for... It's not like we make a living doing this, but we do this on a regular basis. I want to know what these guys think on 1 to 10, the overall show. And in a sentence or two, tell me why you think, whatever rate you give it, the justification of it. Trey, let's start with you.
I'm going to give it a 7 overall. Championship match. Definitely I'm going to give that a 9. Other matches, I mean, obviously Royal Rumble, I said it earlier, I gave it a 3. Gotta take it away.
9 plus 3 is 12, divided by 2 is 6.
That's true.
But
he's no math major, but
there's
hey.
a couple other matches in there that were pretty decent, you know. I mean, didn't really care about. The whole tag team championship match, I mean, it's decent. I give that one a 6. Overall, I give it a 7 though, just because the championship match made up for the rest of the show.
We got a 7 out of Trey. How about you, Drapes? What do you think?
Well, I'm gonna start off saying that all you listeners, if you ever meet up with Mr. Renny D and Dirt, do not watch the program with them because they analyze it to its entirety. I had to tell him to shut up so I could mark out a little bit.
Hey, we marked out a little bit during the title match.
One match. Okay.
Don't throw us under the bus that
I'm
much.
trying to, but anyway. So I'd probably give it a 6. I mean, started off, you got Mr. Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn's keeping himself in shape. You can't complain about that. That guy is looking real good. And you got Road Dogg's mic skills, which is just impeccable.
Big word for this guy. Big word for this guy.
You want to use back in there.
So we got a 7 and we got a 6.
Well, I'm not done.
I know you're not
Can
done.
I continue?
You can
Are you going to interrupt me again?
I definitely will. I mean, it's my show.
I'm in the middle.
I'm going to interrupt you when I want to.
I'm in the middle of a thought right here.
Finish your thought.
All right,
brother.
And then we got the tag team championship. Miz. I mean, you saw a little tension between there. That's a decent match. I guess.
It wasn't what we wanted though. I mean, we
wanted the break. Yeah, we wanted the break. Of course, it's a bench that's obviously coming because it showed up at the Rumble match or the Battle Royal. The Divas.
Don't care.
Well, Divas are divas. I don't know. I don't have much to say. No offense, Divas. You are great.
Paige looked great.
I just don't. I don't watch it, I guess. But then we have the title match, which was amazing, and I got these two to mark out completely, which was awesome, and that was the best match of the night. It was amazing how well they did, and I just thought to myself how it used to be a match between Cena and Lesnar, and then Rollins jumped in there, and what the difference would have been if Rollins was not there would have been huge. It would not have been what it was.
He stole the show.
And he did steal the show.
Stole the show.
He is, like he says, the future of the company. This is coming from a face right here to a heel. And the Rumble match, whatever. I guess so. There's my
I think
six,
that's
I
fair,
guess.
right, Travis? Like you and I talk pro
that's the
wrestling.
pay-per-view.
We talk this on a weekly basis. For a casual fan like Trey and Ryan to say the Royal Rumble match was whatever, I think that's a really good summarization of what the match was.
I think that word, saying whatever or I thought it was okay, I think that's exactly what any wrestling fan or anybody that watched that match with us or anywhere around the country would have thought, because it's exactly what I thought. I thought it was okay. Not special, not terrible, definitely okay.
The only reason I liked it was because I won $70.
Fair.
That's about it.
All right, Travis. Now to the people who actually matter. No offense. You and I
get it.
I mean, we bet. I won 3-3. I won the first pay-per-view prediction of 2015 because I'm the fucking best in the world.
CM Punk is actually.
It doesn't feel good.
It doesn't feel good for you. But let's wrap this portion up with you and I real quick. The overall pay-per-view, because like Drape said, you and I analyze this stuff more so than I think a lot of people do. But I think since we started this podcast 26 episodes ago, we look at the product. I mean, I've always looked at the product differently, but I think you have also taken on the same vision that I have since then. And because of that, we've gotten some opportunities. Like, we're going to be starting color commentating for local independent promotions. Like, people are looking for us to do things for their promotions because we're not stupid.
Correct.
I mean, I'm definitely not stupid, and I know you're not stupid.
Correct. I'm the opposite of stupid. I try to do my best to be the opposite of stupid as much as I can. We're going to work on doing some things live whenever we go down to Extreme Rules here in a couple months in April.
But we have West
in
Briscoe
Chicago
next month,
We're going to record with West Briscoe, next month.
and we have great guests coming on the show.
Correct. It'll be an exciting time for us here at the Pencil Podcast. So make sure you follow us. We're going to be continuing to make Hornswoggle's going to come on. Hornswoggle's going to come on. It's going to be great. But we also don't want to get away from making sure that we get our opinions out. We want to make sure that we know what our listeners want to hear. And on my end, I thought the pay-per-view was very, very, very good for the first 2 hours, and I thought it was very, very, very average, if not below average, for the last hour.
Be honest. Don't sit there and say it's average for the last hour.
Travis,
I thought it sucked.
Give us a 1 to 10. 1 to 10. You asked us.
I thought it was a 4 to 4.5.
Total.
Okay. I thought it was a 4 to 4.5. It's the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, and I think that the Royal Rumble match is very, very important for that ranking. And for that reason, I'll give it a 4.5 full ranking. I loved the triple threat match, but I hated the Royal Rumble match. I thought it sucked a lot of cock. Enormous nuts, and I will deal with that because I think that hopefully that will lead into something big in WrestleMania season. So,
I mean, they know what they're doing, right? Like, they know, like, they brought us on a high.
I know what I'm doing. Do they know what they're doing? I mean, that's up to you to decide.
That's up to. I'm not going to sit here and, like, blow smoke up your ass. It was a terrible Royal Rumble match. The overall pay-per-view, 6-7, because, like, the main event was that good. And to me, that was the most important match of the show. But then again,
all the near falls was just
great.
God, it's crazy.
It was great.
It's only as important as the end is, and the end was terrible. As every Monday Night Raw that I interpret, I thought the end was awful. So I will downgrade it because of that.
So you thought the main event should have been that match?
We discussed this, that we thought the main event should have been the title match. Looking forward to WrestleMania. I don't think the match between Lesnar and Reigns is going to be awful. I don't. But I think that the WWE
Make sure Reigns doesn't talk too much.
I mean, they have 2 months to build Reigns. The Rock could not help him. When Daniel Bryan got eliminated.
Which is saying a lot.
It is saying a lot.
Right?
A lot.
It's like The Rock came out, he got the pop, and then all of a sudden, once he got in the ring, straight boos.
Great T-shirt, though.
Great T-shirt.
He looked great. His body looks fantastic.
Here's the deal. WrestleMania is 2 months away. Maybe they'll surprise us. I mean, last year we had the same reaction. Daniel Bryan wasn't in the Rumble. Wasn't in an event. We were there live. He won the strap. People weren't happy.
So do we seriously have to deal with another triple threat at
No,
WrestleMania?
there's no triple threat at WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan's not in the match.
How do you know?
I know.
Because Roman Reigns is the guy, right?
He's the
Roman
guy.
Reigns is the guy, and if you didn't think so before tonight, you gonna learn. You gonna learn today. You gonna learn today that Roman Reigns is the guy.
So overall, 6, 7. I think I'm with you guys.
I'm way below that, but okay.
But I want to thank the guys that came on, like Lee, Trey, and Ryan. These guys.
Shout out.
I mean, these guys hung out with us tonight at the tank. At the tank party. But I think the reason that Travis, you and I wanted them to come on tonight was because they don't do this like we do every Tuesday, and I thought it was a good chance for us to bring on guys who watch the product, who listen to our podcast, to get their reaction. Because you and I might drink the Kool-Aid a little bit.
And I would completely agree. I think that if you're looking at the 3 guys that we had talk tonight, they don't watch it the way that we watch it. I watch it as a episodic television program going from here to WrestleMania. They want to be entertained every week, and I don't think that tonight was as good as it could have been. I want to be entertained too.
Yeah, right.
I want to be entertained too. But I think that they gave a perspective that I do not give every week. I don't think that you give every week, and I think it's advantageous to our listeners to listen to every now and again. So those are the type of people that we want to hear from. And if there are other people out there, or if Ryan, or if Lee, or if Trey, or anybody wants to call in and talk to us a little bit more in the coming weeks as we get in the next 60 to 90 days going on the road to WrestleMania, which we're very excited about, call in. Let us know what we want to talk about, because we want to be an exciting conversation. We want to have things go on that you guys want to talk about.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on. It was nice chatting.
Thank you guys for having me on too. Really appreciate it. Glad you guys could have this show.
Shout out from your boy Leroy. I appreciate it. Look forward to new episodes coming up.
Every Tuesday, iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, and Stitcher. PencilPodcast.com, at PencilPodcast on Twitter, / PencilPodcast on the Facebook. Seriously, you guys are awesome. 26 episodes in. We got 26 more to do a year, but we got WrestleMania coming up shortly. We got some great guests coming up. Dirt, I mean, I think it's pretty successful so far, what we've been doing.
It hasn't been terrible. I mean, there's been some episodes that I wish that I could have done better on, but I'm going to do better in the next 26. I mean, if we're only 26 in and we got 6 more months to do, I'm pretty motherfucking excited. I got fish alive in the tank, and I got 26 more episodes that they're excited about. And by they, I mean the fish, and by us, I mean Renny D and the Dirty Travis Mester. Let's get it in.
Let's get in. As always, I am professional wrestler Renny D. As always, I guess Dirt's on this show pretty much every week, for the most part. I would say 99.9% of the time.
The Travesty Dirty Mester.
At Travis Mester, at Real Renny D, at Pencil Podcast on Twitter, pencilpodcast.com, iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, YouTube. Do us a favor, rate, review, subscribe, do your thing, make us pop up on Google, because some of these podcasts out there are just complete shit. So we definitely appreciate you guys joining in for the Royal Rumble review. We got some Raw review coming up, and after this break, you'll hear that.
Hey guys, my name is Nick Ragnar.
I'm AC Riley.
I'm Jesse Von Ruden. And we're co-hosts of the show Grapple Talk, where we aim to bring you the latest and most in-depth analysis on the independent wrestling scene.
We like to give everybody the idea of what's going on in the independent scene in the Midwest. We also like to talk with plenty of guys in the Midwest and pick their brains a little bit.
It's all about promotion and education here on Grapple Talk. So make sure you tune into Grapple Talk any day of the week. You can find us on Podbean or on iTunes. Just search Grapple Talk.
Hey, Dave. What do you get when an atheist and a Christian start a podcast?
I don't know, Ken. What do you get when a Christian and an atheist start a podcast?
I don't know. You're the freaking comedian. I figured you'd have some kind of joke or something.
Right. Hi, I'm David Vox Mullen.
And I'm Mester Anderson.
Seriously?
Wait for it. Just wait for it. Anderson.
And we're the hosts of Push the Button on the DVM Podcast Empire.
It's a show where we discuss religion, politics, and sex. All that stuff that we're not supposed to talk about.
I am a Christian.
And I'm an ordained minister with the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
I think that's code for he's an atheist.
And together, we tackle any and every hot-button issue that the world is scared to talk about.
Yeah, we're not afraid of the truth.
Yeah, we're not afraid to piss people off.
We're not afraid to push the button.
So find us on iTunes.
Or simply visit us online at dvmpe.com. And God willing, you'll come back for more.
Yeah, God willing. That's you took the words right out of my mouth, Dave.
Scare what you might find, maybe. Scare what you might find, maybe. Scare what you might find, maybe. Scare what you might find. You need an aerial view.
So there, you heard us talk Royal Rumble. You heard I guess, how upset we may have been a little bit. I would say upset on Sunday was an understatement. We were pretty pissed off. And I don't think... I shouldn't say it's not warranted because it is. We're fans. We pay for the network, although we share it with people. We have a right to voice our displeasure, I guess, as much as anybody else. But after 2 days, I'm okay with it.
I was disappointed on Sunday, and as of this recording, I'm disappointed with the language that I used on the pencil on Sunday night. I think I was too hard on the show. It was better than what I gave it credit for, and I kind of echo what you said at the beginning of the show. I don't have a big issue with the story that was told. I just have an issue with the way that it was told. And what frustrates me, and still now frustrates me, is that I could have an email conversation with a friend of mine who watches a lot of wrestling, Justin Harings. I hope you're listening, Jays. And we can come up with better stories and a better way to get to where they got in 5 minutes, just he and I emailing about it. That would have been more entertaining to me. That's the frustrating part.
Right, the story. The failure to tell a story from beginning to end, because the triple threat match, as we mentioned on our review, was phenomenal.
Beautiful. Really,
really good. And then it just seemed like, because they hit the high point in the middle of the show, and then it just kind of tanked. And once Daniel Bryan got eliminated, we all know how that goes. But they had to do something about Raw yesterday. Obviously, the blizzard of 2015, I think, or whatever they want to call it, was in the air. The Connecticut governor shut down all travel at 9 o'clock. So what are you going to do? What's Vince McMahon going to do? He's going to host. He's going to have Monday Night Raw.
He's going to have Monday Night Raw because it's a Monday night. So you know what there's going to be? Monday Night Raw. There's one way or another. There's always going to be. The sun's going to come up. The sun's going to go down, and there's going to be Raw on Mondays.
And here's the thing: we did not anticipate the backlash from Royal Rumble to have a hashtag trending worldwide for 4 hours. Hashtag cancel WWE Network. A lot of that was people upset that they didn't get what they wanted. So the WWE's thinking, great, you can't always get what you want. And I agree with that. I never once was going to hop on board this hashtag. I never once thought about canceling the network. I never once thought about stop watching the product.
Definitely not.
So you get these kids or these people, these trolls on the internet that are like, I'm going to cancel my account. And a lot of them did. And by a lot of them, I mean, compared to the scheme of things, it wasn't very many. I think it was like 2%, which, I mean, 2% is still more than what they wanted.
I'll go out on a limb and say that 1.5% of those two are going to be back in 3 months.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They are going to go ahead and we got WrestleMania coming up. They will get back on board and watch it, and they will buy it. It's $10 a month. So if they want to scrap or snap a screenshot to prove a point, hey, kudos, pat yourself on the back, kids. Hit puberty, grow up. It's pro wrestling. You can't always be happy with things. And guess what? If I had to guess, I think that whoever's running this stuff, who's ever making these decisions, whether it be Triple H or Vince, they know what they're doing, and I think they took a step in the right direction even last night.
I thought last night was shockingly productive for a night that I was expecting a fan reaction that was going to be very negative, and then they did not allow themselves to have that with the weather. And I thought that actually helped what was happening with the promos, with the interviews. It was a little something different that you don't see all the time. And I, for one, don't need to see Miz versus the Usos every week. I don't need to see Stardust and Goldust against Luke Harper or whoever in a singles match every week for 2 hours. I'm okay with what they did last night, and I thought it actually helped Roman Reigns a lot, and I think it helped explain some of the story without having to worry about the live crowd drowning it out with booze.
The story that was told last night.
And when I say drowning it out with booze, I'm not referring to what we did at the Tank on Sunday.
The offensive language. The offensive language, Derek. A
My
little too
bad.
far. A little too far. But you mentioned storytelling on Monday Night Raw last night. No matches, no live matches. They replayed the triple threat match, which if you don't have the network and you saw that, you might have jumped on board, bought the network, even all this hashtag cancel WWE Network. Because
if you saw that match for free, that's the best match you're ever going to see for free. That was remarkable.
It better be. And WWE Network hit 1 million, their number, their golden number. They finally hit it. And I know there are people out there saying, well, that takes into account all the people who cancel it. I get it. But WWE never said in the beginning of time that they wanted to make X amount of dollars on the network. They said they wanted to get 1 million subscribers. You can take that to advertisers because they're selling advertising in the network now. The stock is up 20% today, so investors are high on WWE again. Raw ratings last night were up 17% or 7%, whatever it was, from the week before, and there was no live wrestling. None.
And I think you and I both are pretty darn excited about some of the things they announced over the last 48 hours that are coming as content to the network, with another Stone Cold podcast, which we've been asking for 2 months since they talked to Vince. Now they're going to talk to Triple H.
Right.
They've got a new, basically almost an ESPN or an E60 kind of promotion for behind the scenes on WrestleMania 30 that's going to be on. I believe it will be up on network by the time this show comes up.
Yeah, it was up. It was live last night or after Raw, and I heard it was so emotional it brought people to tears within like 7 minutes because of the Connor thing. So we're actually going to check that out here probably when we're done with this recording. But I want to go back to something that you said about the storytelling last night, and the story was told more through Roman Reigns. But I thought Paul Heyman really sold the match between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns for WrestleMania, which is 8 weeks away. And the reason I say that is because Paul Heyman went through Roman Reigns' entire family lineage in pro wrestling. I've seen your cousins, the Usos, when they were young. I came to Pensacola, Florida, and I saw you when you were young. I was friends with your dad. I was friends with Rocky Maivia, Rocky Johnson, Peter Maivia. He named off everybody he knew in pro wrestling and how he's been around everybody and how he respected Roman Reigns. Like, he told a story in his promo that now, and then when he mentioned that, how's it going to feel when you let your family down? Why couldn't they should have told the Royal Rumble in that type of story. I mean, Paul is phenomenal. We both know that, and I think everybody listening to this will not disagree that he's the greatest manager in the history of pro wrestling.
He's one of the best wrestling minds in the history of the business, and I can't see a championship match where Brock Lesnar is in it and Paul Heyman is selling it failing. And that's the part that I'm still on board for what they're doing going forward, and I'm excited to see how they do it. But if Roman Reigns, if he's being thrown in the deep end, quote unquote, whatever his fucking explanation was about being the swimming analogy that he talked about.
You're not going to scratch and claw Roman to get out. You're going to swim to get out of the deep end.
I think you'd have to. But if The Rock being in your corner and Paul Heyman selling your championship match doesn't get Roman Reigns where he needs to get in the next 3 months, I'm not sure what will. So we'll see. I'm pleasantly surprised with how I feel now after last night's pseudo Raw, basically, than what I was 48 hours ago.
Did you like the intimate interview style? Because I thought that really benefited all the wrestlers.
I did. I thought it was really good. I wanted to touch on, before we either gloss over it or forget about it, Daniel Bryan's interview. I thought he did a really good job, but
his facial expression seemed like he was legitimately pissed.
And I think that if you're WWE, I don't know if they just told him, hey, say whatever you want, because he literally took 45 seconds and told a better story than what they have in their product right now. The David versus Goliath, the him versus Brock Lesnar. If that was what was happening today, more people would be excited about it like me. And his story was so easily told. He didn't lose the belt. This is the guy who has it. I want it back. I get to WrestleMania again. I'm going to get my chance at the Beast. Like, that story is what I wanted to watch.
I think the short-term business benefit would have been better off with Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar. I think the long-term strategy is Roman Reigns goes over Lesnar, wrestles wrestles Daniel at SummerSlam. You know, I mean, that's kind of what we're looking at right now.
And I'm okay with that story, but it was just funny to me that is what people were thinking, and I figured WWE would prefer not to have their guy that is so popular just telling everyone live that, hey, that's what he was thinking too. I appreciate the honesty, but I just don't know if it's good to plant that seed that, hey, this is what it could have been, everybody. If you didn't remember, this is how good it could have been, and they gave it to Reigns instead, almost.
Did you, maybe I'm the only one that picked up on this, but if you watched Daniel Bryan's interview, you know, he said, I'm pissed off, I'm mad as hell, but his face got really red towards the end when he was talking, if it was Tom Phillips or whoever it was in the back, or Brian Saxon, I can't remember who it was, maybe it was Michael Cole, but he just seemed like he was agitated and irritated, and I don't think you can sell that. I think that was legit agitation on his point, but I think he also understands the long-term, the long-term goal. I mean, the internet dirt sheets say he took a shot at Roman Reigns by saying he didn't have The Rock helping him out. He didn't have WWE feeding him when he was a kid, alluding to his indie background. Yeah, Roman Reigns was handpicked. And what I really like to think more so than anything last night is they asked the questions that we all had. The WWE, for once, asked the questions that we all had. It's, Roman, what did you think of the reaction you got last night in Philadelphia? What do you think about the people that say that you're handpicked by the higher-ups? I mean, those are all questions that the internet has been asking and been throwing out there. And yes, he has been handpicked. It's completely true. He was handpicked a year ago when I was there trying out for the WWE. They were telling me that he's the next guy. He's going to be the guy to headline WrestleMania 31. They knew that September of 2013 that he was going to headline this pay-per-view this year in San Francisco. Like, that was already predetermined at that point. So, was he handpicked? Yes, he was. Is he not ready for it? Yeah, he's not ready for it, and they asked him that question too. Like, they asked him questions that Stone Cold would be asking Triple H on the podcast, which is going to be phenomenal on Monday. If Triple H answers all the questions and Stone Cold can ask the questions he wants to ask.
It'll be really good. I was impressed with Reigns Monday night. Yeah, I guess last night as of this recording, more than I've been in the last couple months, which is how it needs to be. Every week from here going forward needs to be the best that we've seen of Roman Reigns. He's on the hot seat, quote unquote, for the professional wrestling fans that know what they're watching, and he's got 8 weeks to prove that he's ready for what nobody thinks he is right now.
Do you remember when Rocky Maivia came onto the scene and was trying to be a face, and the fans had signs in the crowd that said "Die Rocky, die," and they didn't like him. They shit on The Rock, and I told you if Roman Reigns wins the Rumble, in my prediction, the crowd was going to shit on him, and you agree with me.
There is no way in hell that if he and Brock Lesnar are in the ring together, that he's going to get more cheers than Brock Lesnar. Mm-mm. Brock Lesnar is, you can call him whatever you want to call him, he is the face in this matchup.
Do you think that Paul Heyman turns on Lesnar, he's done it before, and joins Roman Reigns if the fan reaction doesn't change?
I think it's more likely that the match itself is the afterthought, and Paul Heyman turns and joins Seth Rollins in a cash-in situation.
Good,
but I wouldn't be shocked if what you mentioned happens, but I think it's more likely to have the Seth Rollins. I think that's been planted the last month or two.
And last night they had Seth Rollins. I mean, it was good. He a little bit of heat there with him and Lesnar. It was good to at least bring that up. Not really sure where Rollins goes from here as far as competitors, but if I had to guess, I would think Randy Orton moving forward to WrestleMania 31 is the only one that makes sense. We thought we were getting Cena Rusev at WrestleMania 31, and
we still may.
What I don't understand is why Michael Cole said the Authority had to plan this match for WrestleMania 31, but we're going to have it at Fastlane. So I don't know.
Spoiler alert, Michael.
Yeah, I don't know if he was supposed to say that, not supposed to. There was a couple messes up last night. So if that match happens at Fastlane, which it's going to, and whatever type of schmoz finish they have, I think that we're more likely to see Daniel Bryan, Rusev at Mania, or a rematch between. It's either going to be him and Cena again, or it's going to be it's going to be Rusev, Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania.
Correct. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a no disqualification match or something like that at WrestleMania after a disqualified finish protects both Cena and Rusev at Fastlane, lets them get out there, throw each other around a little bit, try to give Rusev that rub, and then I at this point I think that Rusev will be going over on Cena at WrestleMania. I mean, they messed it up last year, ruining Bray Wyatt basically with Cena's feud and allowing Bray Wyatt to, until the Royal Rumble Sunday night, look like shit for 8 months basically.
Yeah, he looked strong on Sunday.
He looked very strong on Sunday, but after Cena buried him, it was I mean, you hate to say Cena buried him, I guess, but losing to Cena at WrestleMania didn't help him. I can't imagine him making the same mistake with Rusev this year.
Speaking of why moving forward the Fastlane, I mean, I think he's wrestling Taker at WrestleMania. So what I think they should do is what they did at Royal Rumble when they had Eric Rowan come out and Luke Harper. I think that make money out of that situation. I mean, I think that could be a WrestleMania match. If Taker's not ready to go, I think there should be a 3-way match between those three. If Taker's going to go and that's where they want to go, then you have to have Bray Wyatt wrestle these two in a triple threat match at Fastlane. And I know there's a lot of triple threat matches, but if Bray can go over both Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, two big men, he looks even that much stronger going into WrestleMania.
I can't argue with that. I mean, I think there's a couple outside of the things that we've just talked about. There's just a couple things that still need to be. I mean, what are they going to do with the tag team championships? What are they going to do with the Intercontinental Championship?
Wade Barrett
is the U.S. title that Rusev holds going to mean anything in any of his matches with Cena? Is that going to be on the line? I don't know.
And also the fact that we got to keep in mind too, like Orton didn't come back at Rumble, Sheamus didn't come back at Rumble, Bo Dallas, who I mean, some of you guys look at Bo Dallas shit. He's got a good character. It's annoying in this.
He gets a reaction.
I mean, he gets a reaction. So we got these guys all coming back too. So I think we can't just be too quick to jump on the horse and be like, WWE sucks. Let's cancel this fucking network. Like you just can't. I mean, you're not going to do that. So
the only other thing I think that was mentioned last night was Triple H and Sting are going to see each other at Fastlane. They're going to be in the ring or have some sort of face-to-face conversation, which since Survivor Series, it'd be nice to hear something. So
I don't know if I read this right, but I thought the contract from Sting was apparently 5 or 6 appearances. So he's used up 2 of them. Fastlane will be 3. I can see an appearance at Raw for a contract signing, and then his 5th appearance being at WrestleMania. And then maybe his 6th appearance, if that's what it was, the night after WrestleMania, setting up him and Taker in Dallas. So, I mean, we're going to get Triple H Sting at Mania in the match. We're going to see whatever the confrontation face-to-face thing is at Fastlane. But
I hope we get those cool videos of Triple H working out, getting it in the gym again. Those are funny.
You just got to buy his DVD, bro. Seth Rollins alluded to it like a week ago. Where have you been?
Trips looks great.
Where do you think Dean Ambrose is going from here? Because he had his little funny little shtick last night as well.
Yeah, he's pretty much just a comedy act right now. I don't know.
But his promos are so good.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love him, but I don't see anybody, maybe a heel Sheamus in a match that is just about fighting each other and being crazy, and I don't know. I mean, there's no heat between them, but I don't know who he can wrestle that would matter at this point. There's no belts unless him and Barrett, I don't know, maybe.
Don't know. All I know is we have a live SmackDown on Thursday. Daniel Bryan, Kane in a casket match. Hopefully finally ending that whole thing between him and Kane. So that way we can see where he's moving going forward. I think we just need to take a deep breath. We need to relax. We need to chill out because last year we had the same exact situation. Maybe a little bit more this year. But people were upset last year. Daniel Bryan wasn't in the Rumble. He ended up main eventing and winning WrestleMania. So I don't see him back in their main event this year. It's not going to happen. I think by the time WrestleMania 31 rolls around, everybody's going to want to see Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. I really do. I firmly believe that match will be really high up on people's expectations list. I just need Lesnar to show up a little bit more between now and Mania because we can't have Roman Reigns try to sell that program. You just can't. I mean, I get Paul Heyman's there. Paul Heyman can sell it. But there's just something about seeing Lesnar, and even Lesnar's comments last night when he talked. It was great, man.
He's a steamroller, man.
He's a steamroller, baby. And when the steamroller gets going,
he's been on a roll, baby.
Get out of his way. So we're gonna watch WWE 24. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna take a week off. We'll be back next Tuesday, and our guest Wes Briscoe. We're gonna be at Primetime Wrestling here in Bloomington, Minnesota this week. I get to actually throw a little headset on here and try to help produce a show or something. I don't even know what's going on, but Wes Briscoe, we'll get a live interview with him. That'll be cool. We can talk to him about his dad, talk to him about his TNA times, talk to him about his Japanese or Japan days. That'll be big too. And Dirt's going to take his first bump.
My first bump. I'm going to go off the top rope. I might run the ropes a little bit, hop around things. I mean, it's going to be great. I just hope that I make it till next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, baby. And I'll be a year older next Tuesday. So we got and we'll probably be hungover from Sunday.
Super Bowl Sunday. Who do you got in the Super Bowl?
I got the Patriots, man.
I do too. Gronkowski's awesome.
And everybody's like, "Oh, the Patriots are cheaters." If you ain't cheating, bro,
you ain't trying.
You ain't trying. And Tom Brady's a stud.
Yeah.
And he makes he makes chicken salad out of chicken shit, right? Like he's got no wide receivers and he's awesome.
Yeah, he's got that tight end though. That Rob Gronkowski can really play. I can't wait to watch that game.
He's a body guy too.
Body guy
minute. All right, well, Travis, you're obviously on Twitter. You're at Travis Mester. I'm at Real Renny D. We're at at Pencil Podcast on Twitter. PencilPodcast.com /Pencil Podcast on Facebook. Like and share anything that we post. Go ahead, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. Tell a friend via social media. Get our stuff up there, people. We are one of the better podcasts, I firmly believe, out there. And there's a lot of them, but we try to bring a little different perspective. So we're on, like I said, iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, and Stitcher. Go ahead and tweet us any questions, concerns, comments, whatever you have for me and Dirt. We'll make sure we address them next week on the show.
Know yourself the